Get comfortable with English in comfort. This is your English listening practice podcast to help you learn and improve naturally.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Comfort. I'm Anna.
And I'm James. We are so glad you are joining us today for another very thoughtful and interesting episode.
That's right, James. And by the way, I have a question for you. Do you ever feel like there's a lot of noise, not outside, but inside your own head?
If you mean those little voices, like negative voices that are always talking, well, all the time, yes.
I know, right? Like those voices that compare your progress to everyone else's, or the ones that say, I'm bad at this, or I'm not enough.
Sometimes it can be so loud that it stops you from focusing on what's truly important. Your own journey.
And that's what we're exploring today. We're talking about the power of learning to focus on yourself and stay silent.
We're talking about a special kind of silence. It's not about not speaking. It's about the silence you can create when you are working on your goals, your dreams, or anything important to you.
Exactly. It's about learning to turn down the volume on all that noise so you can truly hear yourself and, of course, focus on yourself.
So, if you're ready, get comfortable, grab your tea, and let's get started. Let's start with the first, and probably the most important thing we want to talk about today: comparing yourself to others.
This is a really big trap that I would say is so easy to fall into. Let's say you see someone your age who's already launched a business or hit a milestone, and suddenly your own progress feels tiny.
And then your head fills with thoughts like, they're already doing this and that. What am I even doing here?
And that's the danger. Those thoughts make you lose focus on what you're actually doing. You start to forget why you chose your path. Maybe your goals aren't even the same as your friends.
If your dreams are different, your route will be too. Your journey has its own map and its own timeline, not someone else's.
I can put it simply for you. Imagine two people walking to the exact same place.
Okay,
One walks very fast, the other walks very slowly. What happens in the end? Well, the slow one still gets there. He might take longer, but they both got there.
that's it. Being faster isn't the only way to win. So keep moving. At the end of the day, every step forward counts, even the slow ones.
That is such a great way to see it. It doesn't matter if you're the fast one or the slow one. The important thing is that you just need to keep going. So, once you've given yourself permission to go at your own pace, let's move on to the next thing you can do to focus on yourself.
We said earlier that the idea was to stay silent, right? And the first kind of silence we want to talk about is simple but so powerful. Stop the talk and start the work.
Stop the talk and start to work. I love this phrase. Think about it. When you want to start something new, like a big project or learning a new skill, what is the first thing we often do? Well, talk about it.
We do. We tell our friends, I'm going to start a new business, or I want to learn how to paint. We announce all of our plans.
That's why we say, don't announce it. Instead of saying you want to start, just start it. What are you waiting for? Go for it and just do it. Take all the energy you use for talking and turn it into energy for doing. You turn those talks into actions.
It's easy for me to sit here and say, I think I could run a marathon next month. They're just words. Saying I can run a marathon doesn't make me a runner.
That is a perfect way to put it. The real work is quiet. It's putting on your running shoes when no one is watching. That is the action that matters.
And that is the core of this idea. You work quietly. You build quietly. You improve quietly. And you let your results make the noise for you.
Yes, let your success speak for itself. Once you have achieved your goals and you have the results, that is when you can be as loud as you want. You can be as noisy as you want because you've earned it.
You can tell the whole world because you didn't just talk about it. You actually did it.
It's such a powerful mindset shift when you think about it. We don't mean to be secretive, but rather effective.
Right? Be effective. So, the first steps are about not comparing yourself to others and focusing your energy on the action, on the work. What is the next thing to do if we want to focus on ourselves, Anna?
Well, the next thing is about how you work. It's about where you really put your attention.
This is a huge challenge in the world we live in, isn't it? When you finally sit down to work on your goals, there are a million things fighting for your focus.
A million things. Every scroll on your phone, every bit of drama you watch, every post you check. All of these little things seem so small, but they are constantly taking you away from your real focus, from your own life.
And we always have a good excuse, don't we? We tell ourselves, oh, I'm just going to quick check something. Just for 1 minute. But then you look at the clock, and you see how much time flew by, and you feel like you lost your energy.
So, what is the solution? How can we protect our focus? It's very simple. When you decide to work on a goal, set a specific amount of time. It can be 1 hour or 2 hours, just for your goal. And you make a promise to yourself. You say, in this time, I am only going to pay attention to this one task.
So that means during that time, no scrolling allowed, no social media, no checking messages, just work.
Exactly. But don't take it as a punishment. Take it as planning.
And once you finish the time, you can reward yourself, After your focused work is done, then you can watch that video and scroll however you want. So, the work comes first, and the reward comes after.
That's right. And trust me, when you work this way, you will feel so much lighter and better. You feel proud and in control of your time and your energy.
Because you can enjoy your break without feeling guilty. It's a win-win. Your goals get your best energy, and your break feels more relaxing.
Okay, so we've talked about protecting your focus from the outside world. But what about the noise that comes from inside? The things we say to ourselves. That can be the loudest noise of all.
It really can. And this leads to our next practice, which I really like. It's all about how you can shift your bad thinking by simply changing the words you use.
Could you give us some examples, James?
Well, think about when you're trying something new and it's difficult. It's so easy to get frustrated and think, ugh, I'm so bad at this. So this practice is about catching that thought. And instead of saying, I'm bad at this, you tell yourself, I'm learning this.
That makes a huge difference. I'm bad at this feels like it's final. But I'm learning this gives you permission to be a beginner.
Right. Here's another one. Instead of the heavy feeling of I'm failing, you can shift that thought to I'm figuring it out. It's so much more hopeful, don't you think?
It's true. You know, it's so easy to be too difficult and harsh with yourself. We say things in our own minds that we would never say out loud to someone else, like, I'm never going to do this, or I will never be that good. We can be our own worst critic. But how about next time you catch yourself being like that? Ask yourself, why not talk to myself like I talk to a friend?
That changes everything. You would never look at a friend who is trying their best and say, you'll never be good at this. You would encourage them. You'd tell them to keep going.
Of course you would. So why not give that same kindness and support to yourself?
It's a small shift, but it feels like it could change everything.
It does. Because in the end, the way you speak to yourself changes how far you will go.
Now, there's another thing we often do that makes us lose focus on ourselves that I want to talk about.
Which is,
It is not letting other people's lives blur you. Let's talk about what we mean by that word, blur. It is when you look at someone's life, especially on social media, and you start to think that their life is more real, more beautiful, or more important than your own.
so their perfect-looking life makes your own real life feel blurry, less clear and less valuable.
Exactly. But we have to remember what we're really looking at. We're looking at pictures. We're looking at short videos. We do not see what is behind the scenes.
That is such an important point. We don't see the reality behind the picture. You know, we can all show the best few seconds of something in a video. I could film the one moment my apartment is clean and post it, and everyone would think my life is perfectly organized.
You don't see the mess from 5 minutes before. You only see the perfect highlight. And that's why we must remember that at the end of the day, it is all just a screen. And your life, your real surroundings, that is what matters. The room you are in right now is more real than any photo on your phone.
True, no matter how simple it may look like, your own small achievements, your personal journey, all the things you're doing every day, that is what's real. Because those are the things that are making you who you are. And those are the things that are making you grow.
So the goal is that you can, of course, enjoy and get inspired by others. But never let their highlights blur the beauty of your own story.
Exactly. And when you finally stop letting the outside world blur you, and you quiet all the internal noise, something truly amazing happens.
What's that?
You finally start to hear yourself. You create enough silence to listen to your own true voice.
And that's where the real magic is, isn't it? When you stop the negative self-talk, the comparisons, the pressure, you finally hear what you actually want.
Yes, those are the moments where real goals come from. They don't come from comparing yourself to others or from the pressure you put on yourself. They come from that quiet, honest place inside.
This leads to a really important question for everyone listening. Have you ever taken a quiet moment to really think, what do I truly want to do in my life? What is my goal?
It's a big question, and to answer it, you have to do what we've been talking about. Take a moment and take away all those thoughts, like comparing yourself and what you think you should be doing. And just ask yourself,
Do I really want to do this? Or am I just doing it to prove something? or to do what the other person did? Those questions can be scary, but the answers are so important. This reminds me, I know someone who always wanted to be a teacher. That was her big goal. She studied for years. She got her degree, and she finally became one.
So she achieved the goal she set for herself.
She did. But once she got there and tried it for a while, she realized it wasn't actually for her. She discovered that the busy, noisy classroom was the opposite of what she needed. She realized she likes a quiet, really calm working environment. So, eventually, she shifted her focus to a different career that fit her personality better.
That is such an important and inspiring story. Her original goal to become a teacher could have been because of comparing herself to others, or maybe just because it seemed like a good, respectable job.
Exactly. We can say it was a goal from the noise. It took time for her to figure out that she wasn't made for that job.
Notice how we said she figured it out and shifted her focus. We didn't say that she was bad at teaching or that she failed and had to change.
Because it really is as simple as that. We aren't bad at something. It could just be that we are a better fit for something else. My friend wasn't a bad teacher. She was a wonderful person who just needed a quiet space to do her best work.
And she could only discover that by finally listening to her own needs. So the final lesson is to focus on yourself and what you really want.
Use that silence to learn about yourself. What do you enjoy? What kind of environment makes you feel strong? Answering those questions is the most important work you can do.
It really is. And that feels like a peaceful way to end our conversation for today.
I agree. We hope it was helpful for you.
The main idea is simple. Give yourself the gift of silence. The silence from comparing, the silence from distraction, and the silence from negative self-talk.
So you can hear your own voice. Trust your own journey. And focus on what truly matters to you.
We encourage you to find just 5 minutes of quiet. Put your phone away, take a breath, and just listen to yourself.
And if you found this conversation helpful, we would love it if you would like the video and subscribe to English in Comfort for more interesting topics, tips, English listening and speaking practice, and so much more.
Thank you all for letting us be part of your learning journey.
Keep practicing, keep improving, and take care, everyone.